Hello and welcome to the channel. In this video we're going to be talking about the Boolean operators, also known as the logic operators in our Java applications. These come in handy. They work kind of hand in hand with the comparison operators. So I thought I would just kind of cover it before we get into the real logic of a program, or the ways that we create different decision making structures, or kind of how we control the flow of a program. So first we're going to start, we talked about the comparison operators and how they work. You have, 10 is 10 less than 20, that'll be true. Is 20 less than 10? No, it's false. And we did our less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. You've done the equal to and the not equal to. So when we work with these Boolean operators, now it's kind of a building tool for the rest of these operators. I'm just going to put these in comments here, and we're just going to kind of make another little chart with some examples for right now. I think I just got to kind of explain the logic of it first, and like the tools, like just how we did it with the comparison operators. Then we'll use them in real examples. Okay, so just kind of follow along here. If you want to write this down, maybe keep it in a text file or copy and paste it to a text file for your own knowledge and just to kind of refer to, that'd be great. If not, just even just listening in on it and getting to know how to use these things or know how these things work will help you greatly. So I'll just make another little table quick. We'll just get in here. We'll just do an operator, a quick description, and then we'll give it a name as well. So the very first one you have available to use is the AND operator. It's a double ampersand. So if you hit shift, hit 7 twice, you get that double ampersand. And this is the AND operator. The best way I can explain this one is that all conditions, or all comparisons could be another form of saying this, but all conditions must be true. Okay. And I'll just come down here now and I'll make a quick example of that, just so I'll work back and forth between examples and building that table here. So let's go examples. All right. So the AND operator, when we're working with just single comparison operators, it's fine, but maybe you want to make a range of values, or you want to, test a couple values that are given, and compare the two, and in between the two then we can do something. So we'll just kind of go slow with this. So if we said 4 is less than 5, and there we go, less than 5, and 4 is greater than 1. Okay, now when we break this down, this AND kind of works these two comparisons into a full statement. Okay, and we'll see how this works more in the example forms of programming in the future videos, in the next couple videos, but for now I'm just going to work the logic through with you, and we'll kind of just work this out a bit. Okay, so if we look at this and we break it down, 4 is truly less than 5, so it is a true. We say yes to that. And 4 is greater than 1. So overall, this whole entire statement right here would actually be true. Okay, so will actually equal true. I'll just type that there. So that's a typical way that the Boolean operator works. Okay, we put one condition and another one together. We can kind of make them a one full statement by putting the AND in there, and as long as both sides are true, then it will be a true statement. So if we now worked on, if we had, say, 3 is less than 1, and 6 is greater than 4, if we had something like that in there, now we know that 3 is definitely not less than 1, so this would be a false. And we do know that 6 is greater than 4, so that's a true. But in the overall logic of this now, that is actually going to be a false statement. It will be false. It cannot be true because both are not true. Okay, so that's basically what it comes down to with it. And again, if you want one more quick example of that, you can go, 4 is greater than 10, or sorry, 4 is greater than 10, and 7 is equal to 0. Oh, 0. Again, we know that these are both false statements. Okay, so this one is false, and this one is also a false statement. So this will have to be false because, again, they're both not true, so it will end up being a false statement. Now, the AND operator doesn't really only require you to use 2 conditional statements. You could take, if we had this one here and we added in another one, so I'll just kind of outline that really quickly, and we added, say, this guy to it. You can definitely do this. You can have as many as you want, as long as they are logically put together. You're doing it for a reason. You're not kind of just throwing this together. And for the most part, these will be values that were given from a user, not just literal values typed in like we're doing here. This is strictly for example purposes only. So in here is 4 less than, yes, that's true. Move over here, is 4 greater, yep, that's true. And no, this is false. So again, you can probably determine what the outcome is going to be, because they're not all true. Okay, so all conditions have to be true in order for this to actually be true. Okay, so that's your AND operator. We'll just say examples of the AND operator here. All right, so the next operator that you kind of have available for you is the OR, and that's the double pipes. It would be shift and the backslash key, I think. Kind of get the backslash and the forward slash mixed up. I don't know. Yeah, I just know what works when it works. So as long as you can do the same. So now in this one, it would be at least 1 being true. Okay, so I'll go at least 1 is true. Okay, and now these do have like technical terms to them. I believe this would be considered a literal conjunction, and this would be logical conjunction, and this would be a logical disjunction, if I remember that properly. But that's just a bunch of hokey for super smart guys or something, or people that feel that they gotta say it that way. Simply put, it's right there. It's how it is, type of thing. So simplest form, all conditions must be true. If we got the OR operator, or I'll just actually put this with the true usage of it as well, so that you're not typing OR in there, stuff like that. Other programming languages actually do use different words and stuff, but this one doesn't. So now in this case, we can almost just even take this whole block here. We'll just copy it, bring it down. We'll just use the same example, so not to confuse. And I'll just change this up really quickly to the OR operator, and then we'll work through each one, and we'll talk about it a bit. So let me finish this. I'm going to remove these because now these are not going to be the same. So in this one here, now with the rule that we said, at least 1, at the very least 1 is true. So when you come down to here, you got 1 true here, so that would technically be true already. No matter what, it will resolve as true. This one is true. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if this one is true as well. As long as this one's true, it will be true. So we come down to, say, our second example here, and as you've seen up here, if one and the other one are not true, it's a false. But down here, this one's false, so it'll just check this one now, and if this one's true, which it is, the whole statement will actually be true. Okay, so if we work through this some more, we got a false and a false. We know that 4 is not greater than 10. That is a false statement. And 7 is not equal to 0. So this will ultimately be a false statement. All right, pretty simple to kind of understand these ones. How they work together. Again, this one also can be used in multiple forms. You don't have to, it does not just have to be, you know, in this form. Same rules would apply. So, you know, if I just copy this one down here and I'll put it down here for just, you know, example purposes, and then I'll just copy, say, this guy over into it as well, just to, you know, just for educational purposes here. We'll finish this. We know that this one is actually true because 4 is greater than 1. Then this statement here truly would be a true statement because at least one of these operators is true. Okay, and up here, this one, we have all falses, so this would overall ultimately be a false statement, okay, because 4 is, oh, we got trues. Oh no, I messed that up. That is true. Sorry, I misread. I was reading these guys for some reason. Eyes went up. Good thing we went through our logic here. So 4 is less than 5. That is true. 4 is greater than 1. That is true. So again, it only needs 1 to be true in order for the whole statement to be true. So this guy here is kind of your, you know, be very careful when you're using the two of these, you know, make sure that you're using the proper operator so that you are doing the proper evaluation of each condition and that each condition is, you know, returning the proper result. Okay, so we'll go back up here for a second. We got the and, the or. Now there's one called the exclusive or, which is your upper caret here. You hold the shift and push 6, you'll get this kind of up arrow looking thing. This one is called the exclusive or. Okay, and this one is now, they have to be different. Okay, and I'm pretty sure it only works with two conditional. This one is kind of only referred to. It may work with more, but I've never actually done it. Maybe I should probably test that, but I've only ever used it with 2. So both have to be different, we can say. All right, so hopefully that's easy enough to kind of understand. It's called the logical exclusion. If you're a techie guy and you like to know the technical stuff about it, the logical exclusion. So we can come down here again. We'll just, you know, I'm going to copy all this stuff again. I'll just change it up really quickly. If you want to do the same, it's kind of very simple to do. We'll come down here. We'll just, the or is the exclusive or operator. And that's the upward caret. I'll just run through really quickly and change these terms so it matches what we're doing. You don't have to change the outcomes of the conditions because they actually are the way they are, but you know, you can change these here. They're not going to be the same anymore. Okay, so now in this form, when the or, you knew before that an or was one or the other had to be true, but in this regards, this will not be the same. Okay, this is now, if this one is true and this one is true, this is absolutely a false. Okay, and that's because in the rule for the exclusive or, we have to have one being false and one being true. Okay, and that's the only way that it's going to return a true value. So this one here would be a true value. 3 is 3 is not less than 1, and or exclusively or 3 or 6 is greater than 4, which is a true statement. So that will be true. Now, is 4 greater than 10? No, that's false. Is 7 equal to 0? No, that's false. So this will ultimately be a false value. Now, when it comes down to these guys here, we'll just delete because I've never used it that way. It may work, but for just simplicity and not overindulging ourselves in anything at this point, we're going to just work at this. And again, these, it's the same as all the stuff that we worked in the previous video with the, you know, they can be any one of those. And just as long as you know the outcomes that happen with them, then you can kind of make this table up yourself. You can kind of see what's going on with that, okay? So here's the exclusive OR. One and the other have to be different, okay? And that's just how that's going to work. It has to work that way. That's just it, okay? The next one is our not, okay? This is the not, and this is kind of the opposite. The opposite maker. It's kind of a weird one, but it's pretty useful. This would be called the logical negation when we're looking at it, and that just means, I'll give you an example down here. I'll just type this one out because it's kind of its own little beast. And it kind of only works against a whole series of, or a single example. Oh. Okay, example. We'll go with the not operator. Oh, I already put it over here. Okay. Either way, it doesn't matter. So in the form that we know that something is, say, true, we go 4 is, you know, less than 5, and this statement would be true, right? That is technically a true statement. Well, if you were to use the not operator before this, so this would be kind of the usage of it. We'll just rewrite 4 is less than 5. It would just be false. So it kind of evaluates it and then just takes the opposite. It just pushes it to the opposite. So, sorry, that may not be 100% clear. We'll give you examples in like real programming practice what that actually means. If you were to use it in like a multiple function, like in say like this here, we'll take that down here and we'll put it down there. You would have to basically have these, you know, as a one full statement, and then you do the not, and then this would give you the opposing outcome. So this is and true. Both of these are true. True, right? 4 is greater than 1, but because we're negating it, it actually would be technically false. Okay, but that's not, it's not too big of a thing to worry about. Just know that it is the kind of the opposite operator, you know, the not operator. That's basically the very basics of that, and it is useful. It absolutely is useful. It has a place and a time to be used. We'll show you real life examples or real time programming examples of when to use it. But for now, that's pretty much it. You have your and, you know, all conditions must be true within it, and an and operator. The or, at least one in the, you know, comparison or the condition as we've written it has to be true. Exclusive or is one and the other have to be different. So, you know, you have to have a false and a true. And then the not operator, which is just to take the opposite of the value. So where it was at one point true with the not in front of it, it will now actually be false. Okay. So, and there's times when you'll use each one of these. These are, you know, the and the or are going to be exclusively used quite a bit. You're probably going to see that and use that really a lot. The exclusive or, not so much, but it does have definite use to it. And the not is not necessarily used as much, but it definitely does have a use, and it is a pretty handy little operator to have in your trick bag. So that's pretty much it for this video. I want to thank you for watching. If you liked the video, just give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, or like ideas for future videos, just post them in the comment section below, and we'll be sure to get back to you. If you just subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to get the rest of the videos we post. And just hope you can kind of catch on with this stuff and it's all working out for you. We'll catch you in the next video. Thanks again.